Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were looking at the arguments of the Dvaitins. One of the main arguments they put forward is that if you say there is only Brahman, which is there, or Brahma Ekatvam, the oneness of Brahman alone is the reality. If you say that, then Upanishad itself will contradict itself, because it is talking about the creation, sustenance and dissolution of this world of names and forms, which is variegated. So Upanishad itself talks about Bheda, and it also talks about oneness. It is self-contradiction. That is one argument. Another argument is that if you say there is only oneness, then the Karma Kanda also will not be a Pramana anymore. So like these two arguments were put forth. The argument that oneness is self-contradictory, that was addressed already. And now Bhashyakara was actually answering the charge that Karma Kanda will become Apramana. So for that, what Bhashyakara pointed out here, I think we came up to a point where where Bhashyakara said that Yata praptasya eva avidya pratyupasthapitasya kriyakaraka phalasya ashrayena ishtanishta prapti parihara upaya samanye pravrittasya tad vishesham ajanataha tad achakshanaha shrutihi kriyakaraka phalabhedasya loka prasiddhasya satyam asatyam va na achashte na cha varayati ishtanishta phala prapti parihara upaya vidhi paratvat. So this is the last Vakya we were looking at. So what important point Bhashyakara is making is the Karma Kanda is addressed to the one who is ignorant about oneself, one who has taken oneself as the Karta Bhokta. Okay, and it is also going along with the divisions like action, factors of action, results of action, like this. It on the basis of the difference of all these things only, whatever is desirable one wants to get, whatever is undesirable one wants to avoid, keeping that as the basis again. One who has already, a person has started engaging in action based on the fact that I want whatever I desire, or whatever is desirable I want, whatever is undesirable I want to avoid or I don't want it. Keeping that in mind only, one person has already started engaging in action means, but he still doesn't know what to do exactly. Tad vishesham ajanataha, Bhashyakara says. So what to do exactly, what to avoid exactly, if somebody does not know that, for that person only, Shruti also talks about the means and ends. Okay, what are the desirable ends, what is the means for that, all that it is giving, and also what are undesirable and how to avoid that. Both these things the Karma Kanda is talking about, where it is going along with already established worldly knowledge, you can say. Loka prasiddhasya, he says. Whatever is already popularly known or accepted in the world, keeping that itself as a basis, which is that action and factors of action and results of actions are all there differently. It is giving you means for attaining desirable things and avoiding undesirable things. There, it does not make any statement with reference to whether the Kriya Karaka Phala Beda, it is real or unreal, is not the subject matter of the Karma Kanda. Understand that. It is only focusing on what are the desirable things one can gain if you want, that is, and what are all the undesirable things you can avoid. For that only it is giving you the upaya. Okay, to gain and to avoid, it is giving you means. And that is what its subject matter is. And it is not talking about the reality of these things. So further, you can see here, Bhashyakara explains that Yatha Kamyeshu Pravritta Shrutihi Kamanam Mityajnana Prabhavatve Satyapi Yatha Praptan Eva Kaman Upadaya Tat Sadhanani Eva Vidhatte. Okay, here Bhashyakara is making an interesting distinction between Kamya Karma and Nitya Karma. Why he is making that also we have to understand. Because even Dvaitis and even Purva Mimamsaka, when they talk about moksha and what is the moksha sadhana, they say that Nitya Naimitika Karma should not be given up. Okay. So they all talk about some kind of Jnana Karma Samuchaya. Jnana there is basically Upasana. And karma also one cannot give up. Understand that. And in that, but you can give up Kamya Karma, because Kamya Karma is the one which is, or Kamya Karma means what? For your own desire. Based on your desire, you do that. You want to go to Swarga, do this yajna. You want lot of wealth, do this. You want lot of pashus, do this, like this. So many things are mandated in the Shruti. You can do all that based on the desire you have. But even these Dvaitins, they make a distinction between Kamya Karma and Nitya Naimitika Karma. So Kamya Karma, they also accept that Kamya Karma is not going to help you in moksha. That means those who are engaging in Kamya Karma are actually are deluded in one way, correct? They also accept it. Whether they state it explicitly or not, implicitly it is accepted that one has to give up Kamya Karma. So that point Bhashyakara takes here. He says, Yatha Kamyeshu Pravrittaha. So those who are already engaged in activity based on their own likes and dislikes, their own desires. For them also what? Sutihi Kamana Mityajnana Prabhavatve Satyapi. Even though desires, even in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan explicitly talks about desires, how desires can become a problem for one, correct? So that means it is basically those who are going after their desires, they are all deluded in one manner. They are having false knowledge, you can say. So Mithya Jnana Prabhavatve pi sati, Prabhavatve sati api. So even though they are engaged in action based on their own desires, which is again based on wrong understanding, okay, wrong knowledge. Even then what? Yata praptaneva kaman upadaya shrutihi. Shrutihi, you have to connect here. Shrutihi, okay, vidhatte, that is the noun here. So Shruti is giving them mandates, how in keeping with whatever desires they already have. So if you have this desire, okay. If you want to fulfill this desire, I am giving you a dharmika means. Understand that. Shruti is giving a means which is dharma, which is in keeping with dharma. So you can still do that and try to attain your desire. But even these people, these Dvaitins will condemn that. Understand that. Saying that they are all deluded. So Bhashyakara holds on to that. He says, how Shruti is talking about Kamya Karma, similarly it is talking about Nitya Naimitika Karma also. That is what he is trying to point out here. He says, Kaman upadaya tat sadhanani eva vidatte natu kamana mithyajnana prabhavatvat anartha rupattuncha iti na vidadati. Double negative here. So it doesn't say that kamas, okay, acting on your desires and all is delusion. Okay, it is born out of a certain false knowledge, and therefore I will not talk about that. It doesn't do that. It is actually giving you kamya karma also as a means for fulfilling your desires. Similarly, he says tatha. So yatha, tatha, you have to connect here. Similarly, what? Nitya agnihotradi shastramapi mithya jnana prabham क्रिया कारक भेदम यथा प्राप्तमेव आदाय इष्ट विशेष प्राप्तिम अनिष्ट विशेष परिहारं वा किमपि प्रयोजनं पश्यते अग्निहोत्रादीनि कर्माणि विधत्ते. So similarly, nitya karma like agnihotra etc. Okay, nitya naimitika also you have to take dasha purnamasadi. So all this, the shastra which is talking about nitya and naimitika karma, even though they are also based on some wrong understanding of oneself only, correct, as a karta bhukta. That means what? Looking at oneself as a karta, and therefore again you want to do something, and then there are different actions and factors of action. All the division is there, correct? Kriya karaka bhedam yatha praptam eva. So that is already, it's a given in the world. In the objective world, there are differences. Keep going along with that. Only Shruti, what does it do? So yatha praptameva adaya, taking that into account only, correct? Going along with that. Ishta vishesha praptim, anishta vishesha pariharam va kimapi prayojanam pashyate. So for even this nitya and naimitika karma, there is a phala. Even here, some Purvamimamsakas argue that nitya naimitika karma, if you don't do it, you will get papa. If you do it, you will not get anything. Why they have to say that is because they also talk about some kind of a moksha where all the karma is basically destroyed. So they say that you don't do any kamya karma, okay? Therefore you won't gain any new punya. Then you keep doing nitya karma, therefore you won't have pratyavaya dosha and will not again accrue any papa. Okay, this way all your karma will be exhausted, and then you become mukta, you attain moksha. Like this also there is an argument. There in fact Bhashyakara argues that even nitya naimitika karma have punya. In general, you will go to Swarga, like that it is there. So some phala is there, Itta phala is there, and again if you go to Swarga means you are avoiding undesirable things. Swarga is a very desirable place, okay, according to our Shastra. You can enjoy everything indirectly also. You don't even have to consume anything. Without consuming, you enjoy. That is the beauty of Devas. Okay, Paroksha Priya Ivahi Devaha. So Devas enjoy everything indirectly without consuming it. That is why we can give Naivedyam to all our Devatas. If they eat the food, really, I don't think anybody will offer Naivedyam. Okay, anyway, so some phala is there for nitya naimitika karma. Therefore, agnihotraadini karmani vidhatte. So it is mandating all this karma for those who are desirous of that phala. And also, if you don't do nitya naimitika karma, pratyavaya also we accept in a very indirect manner. It is not a direct result of not doing. Okay, not doing cannot produce anything. That means abhava cannot produce anything. Like this Bhashyakara argues a lot, even in Gita Bhashya, in Taitriya Sambandha Bhashya also it is there, all these arguments. But if you don't do the Nitya Naimitika karma, at the time what you will do then? If you don't do whatever is mandated and whatever is proper, your tendency will be to do something which is not correct. That is the problem. And therefore anyway it is going to bring you something undesirable. So anyway you do nitya naimitika karma and you gain whatever punya, and that will give you some desirable ends. So that is why Shastra also is talking about that. And the same nitya naimitika karma, if you do with yoga buddhi, it also indirectly becomes a means for moksha also. Even that is the main reason of karma shastra itself. So one has to overcome one's own likes and dislikes by doing karma only. Not everybody can just give up everything and go sit somewhere. That sitting itself will become a big problem then. Willfully sitting without doing anything is the biggest karma. Understand that. It's a very difficult thing to do if you don't have the maturity. So one has to do and then grow by doing something. While doing, you have to have the right attitude so that there will be growth. That is the important thing. Right attitude towards what you really want, right attitude towards the results of action, and then which will lead you to a certain attitude of accepting everything with equanimity, which itself is talked about as yoga, correct? So even though even Nitya Naimitika karma also is mandated on the premise only that already people are taking themselves as karta bhokta, so we'll go along with that and give them this means. Like this only Shruti is giving it. Even there, it does not really mean, or it does not make a statement about the reality of all these things. Okay, like this Bhashyakara says. And further, what na avidya gochara asad vastu vishayamiti na pravartate yatha kamyeshu. So again, he points out that. So even for Nitya Naimitika karma, the Shruti does not say that no, these are all avidya gochara asad vastu vishayam. So these are all subject matter of avidya. They are all really asat, means here false, you can take. Okay, so they have as their object something which is false. These are all born of ignorance, subject of ignorance. Like this, it does not consider it and do, and therefore it does not do it. Okay, double negative. Na pravartate. Similar to kamya karma, which he already pointed out. Yatha kamyeshu. That's how he started here. But anyway, Bhashyakara is repeating that. Tatha. So, like you people also talk about kamya karma as something born out of delusion, but that also is mandated by the Shruti. Similarly, Nitya Naimitika karma means what? All karma is like that only, Bhashyakara. Therefore, what? Nacha purushaha na pravarteran avidyavantaha drishtatvat yatha kamyanaha. Further, he says, again here, too many negatives are there. You have to read properly. Okay, avidyavantaha purushaha na pravarteran iti na. Okay, it is not that they do not engage themselves in the activity. Okay, to say that. So the ignorant people anyway will engage in activity. Whether Shruti says something or not is irrelevant. That's what Bhashyakara is saying. It is not that those who are ignorant will not engage themselves in an activity. Like even whoever has kamya karma, whoever is having some desire, okay, we see that they are all engaging in some activity, correct? They want to get whatever they desire. Whether whatever they do to get whatever they desire is mandated by the Shastra or not is a different issue, correct? Anyway, they are engaged in activity. So the karma kanda is only trying to regulate that activity so that they are doing things in keeping with dharma. That is the idea here. It does not concern itself with anything else. It is only focusing on that. So now this guy says, this Purva Pakshi now is giving some other argument. He says, no, what is it that you are talking like karma is only for ignorant people and all that? Those who do karma are all very knowledgeable people, you know. They have studied the Vedas. They have to know what the Veda says. Because the iti kartavyata, how to do a particular yajna, everything is said in the Veda only. They have to be highly knowledgeable to do all the complicated karma which has been mandated by the Veda. So he says, Vidyavatameva karmadikaraha iti chet. So what is it that you are talking about? Only those who are knowledgeable, for those people only, this karma has been mandated, not for avidyavantaha, not for ignorant people like you say. Then Bhashyakara says, no. it is not, I am not talking about the Vidya you are talking about. I also agree that if you have to do Vaidika karma, you have to have knowledge of the Veda and what the Veda is saying, how to do exactly and all. You have to know what to do, how to do. That is not the Vidya I am talking about. I am talking about what he says, na Brahma ekatva vidyayam karmadhikara virodhasya uktatvat. I am talking about Brahma ekatva jnanam, not the kriya karaka phala jnanam, which is there in the karma kanda. I am talking about Brahma ekatva jnanam. And whenever Brahma ekatva jnanam, that subject matter is dealt with by the Upanishads, there Karma adhikara virodha only is talked about. You have to give up the notion, very notion that I am a karta. Then where does any karma arise for that person? Okay. So the one who is going after moksha, for that person, there is no karma. In fact, he is not qualified to do karma because he is not supposed to take himself as a karta, bhokta. Because the very act of taking oneself as a karta bhokta means one becomes limited. Only a limited wanting being would want to take oneself as something lacking, and therefore to fulfill that lack you want to do something, then you become a doer, correct? So that is something one wants to remove, that very notion that I am a karta bhokta. That being the subject matter, that person is not qualified for any karma. There is a virodha. There is a karma adhikari cannot become a jnana adhikari. Brahma jnana we have to take here. So that has been said. Therefore, what? Yetena Brahma ekatve nirvishayatvat upadeshena tad grahana phala abhava dosha parihara uktaha veditavyaha. Okay, from this one more thing also he points out. You said that if Brahma ekatva jnanam is being revealed by the Upanishad, who will know that? Correct? Who is the person to whom it is addressed? What will be the result for that person and all that? That also we have answered with this. The same ignorant people only are the people to whom this Brahma ekatva jnanam is being revealed. The one who takes oneself as a limited individual, to that person only this knowledge is addressed. Therefore, this knowledge, the revelation of this knowledge is not without any person who can receive it. Correct? There is a particular subject matter, and there are people to whom this subject matter can be addressed to. All that is there. So they can understand that, and because of that, they will also have some phalam. So tad grahana phala abhava dosha pariharaha uktaha, he says. So you said that there is nobody to know this knowledge, to understand this, and therefore there is nobody who will also have any, there is no purpose for this knowledge. All that is gone. There are ignorant people and they require this knowledge, and if you and the Shruti has revealed it for them to understand and gain moksha. Moksha itself is the phala. Therefore you cannot say there is absence of people who can gain this knowledge, and also that they will have any proper use for it, or phala, result of this knowledge also they will be enjoying. All that is wrong. It is there. Okay, we have given you a parihara for that. So understand like that. From this only you have to understand that also. Okay. So both these points are addressed by Bhashyakara. Then he further explains his own stand. Very interestingly, he says, Purusha Icha Ragadi Vaichitriyacha. So he gives one more reason why this Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, everything is relevant. Because different people have different desires. Their desires, their longing, okay, what they really want is not the same. In fact, one who chooses for moksha, that person itself is very, very rare, correct? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye, like that Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. So the one who comes for Vedanta class, only 10 people will come. Okay, so you can, even those who are considered to be spiritual, okay, out of those spiritual people, how many are really seeking the limitless moksha? They are all seeking some kind of relief. In fact, many people want something like fast food, correct? Give me some technique which I can practice for 1 week. 1 week itself is too much, I think, nowadays. Whatever, I want to, you give me some technique, I will practice it, and then I have some relief. My stress is gone. My breathing is proper. Whatever it is, okay? Or I had some pain somewhere, it went away. All these things, then that is very big. I'm not saying it is not useful or whatever, but it is what something people seek that and they get it, means then they have some shraddha in all that practice, they keep doing it maybe. But they are not really mumukshus, correct? What they want, each one is very different. So that means Shastra also has to cater to all these different people based on their own likes and dislikes, what they desire, etc. So Purusha, Icha, Ragadi, Vaichitriya. Vaichitriya means all these differences, variegated nature of their desires. So Anekahi Purushanam Icha. So the desires of people are many. Ragadayascha doshaha vichitraha, and also their raga, likes, dislikes, and their own defects also. Every person has his own strength, weakness, and all that. Okay, everybody has something good. Guna also is there, dosha also is there. All that is different for everybody. Therefore, what? Tatascha, therefore, Bahya Vishaya Ragadi Apahrita Chetasaha na Shastram Nivartayitum Shaktam. So Shastra cannot forcefully stop anybody from going after external objects, your sense objects. In fact, that is natural. The very external objects are very alluring for people. People go after that. Whatever the senses are revealing, those sense objects only they go along with. If you do that, you are an asura. That's what Bhashyakara said in the third Brahmana in the first chapter itself. When he defined who are devas and asuras, who are asuras? Those who go along with their natural pravritti. That means those who asusuramate iti asuraha. Those who revel in engaging with the sense objects, they are asuras. But those who do whatever is said by the Shastra and not go along with the natural tendency, but do whatever the Shastras are saying, they are devas. So, but Shastra itself cannot force somebody. Okay, if they want to do something, they will do. That's what Paranchikhani Vyatrinat Swayambhuhu Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. Like this, Kathopanishad. Paranchikhani. So all these indriyas, they are all, Paranchi means they are all always outward looking. By making them outward looking, the Swayambhu, here Ishvara, has almost killed them, it seems. Vyatrinat. Because they all see only Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. They do not know themselves. They are only looking out. They have taken themselves for granted and just going after objects, sense objects. So one cannot stop that. So here, this Bahya Vishaya Ragadi Aparita Chetasahana Shastram Nivartayitum Shaktam. Shastra cannot stop those whose minds have been taken away by the external sense objects. Similarly, Napi Swabhavataha Bahya Vishaya Virakta Chetasaha Vishayeshu Pravartayitum Shaktam. Similarly, Shastra also cannot force you to do something when you are having a certain dispassion towards karma and karma phala. Because you have recognized that all karma phala, whatever maybe it is, it may be the greatest dharmika action, greatest thing to accomplish, everything is finite. And I am not interested in whatever is finite. Pariksha lokan karmachitan nasti akritaha kritena. Correct? Whatever is not a result of action, that is what I really want. The limitless cannot be a result of any action. Therefore, what is the use of doing action for me? I am a vairagi, viraktaha. I don't have any use for any karma. It is like a bald man desiring for a comb or shampoo or something. My guru used to say that. What is the use of a comb for a bald man? So I don't have, I have perfect vairagya, whatever may be the comb, whether it is, maybe if it is a gold comb, then I'll have some raga. Not that because it's a comb, but because of the gold. Anyway, so Shastra can neither stop you nor force you to do something. This is very important because the Purva Mimamsakas have a theory that Shastra, by its words itself, it has a certain Shakti to propel you to do something and all that. Okay, their idea of a vidhi is very different. So Bhashyakara here points out, even in some other Aitareya Bhashya also recently I was reading, there also Bhashyakara says this explicitly. Shastra only reveals, that's all. It does not force you to do this or force you to not do this and all that. Based on whatever it reveals, you have to then basically do or not do. In fact, even in Gita, that is the beauty of our Shastra. See, Bhagavan answers all the questions of Arjuna. Then what does he say finally? After everything, he says, whatever, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vaja, Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyaha, Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. With that, the teaching is over. But even after that, what does he say? Yatechasi Tatha Kuru. That is the freedom. I have given you all the knowledge. Now you do whatever you want. In the light of that knowledge, you do that. Nobody can force you. Even a guru cannot force the shishya. Guru can only give knowledge. It is up to you to do. In the light of that knowledge, automatically you will do the right thing only. That is the idea. So Bhagavan says, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do according to whatever you want now. Now you have understood. I have given you all the knowledge. Based on that knowledge, go ahead and do. So Bhashyakara explains that. He says, Kintu Shastrat etavadeva bhavati. So from the Shastra, only this thing happens. What is that? Idam ishta sadhanam, idam anishta sadhanam iti sadhya sadhana sambandha vishesha abhivyaktihi. So Shastra manifests or reveals what? Shastra manifests or reveals that this is desirable, means for desirable thing. These are the means to avoid undesirable things. Like this, it is only giving you means and ends and their connection. Sadhya sadhana sambandha vishesha abhivyakti. So the specific details about what are the connection between different means and ends. If you want this end, what is the means for that? How to do this? All these things only the Shastra is manifesting or revealing. And it is similar to what? Pradipavat tamasi rupadi jnanam. It is like a light. It simply reveals the light. The revealing light neither forces you to do something, nor does it stop you from doing something. Correct? Light means light reveals all the different forms, colors, etc. Like that, Shastra also is only revealing you the means and ends. It is up to you to either do or not do it. Okay, so he says, Natu Shastram Vritya Niva Balat Nivartayati Niyojayati va. So the Shastra, like a master, does not force the whoever servants or slaves, you can say. Vrityan means servants we will take. So if you are a employer or a master, then you can force your servant to do something. But it is not like that. Shastra is not forcing anybody anything. It is telling you, you do this, means you can gain whatever you desire and you can avoid whatever is undesirable, but still doing or not doing is up to you. And therefore what? Drishyantehi Purushaha Ragadi Gauravat Shastramapi Atikramantaha. And it is all the time we are seeing people, due to their own likes and dislikes, they transgress the mandates of the Shastra. In every yuga, they are there, correct? From Satya Yuga onwards, we talk about all these avatars, different Rakshasas, Asuras, even Ravana, Duryodhanadi, before that Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, all these people are there. They are very well knowledgeable also. But still, they transgress because of their own likes and dislikes. Therefore, what? Tasmat Purusham Ati Vaichitriyam Apekshya Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha Visheshan Anekada Upadishati. Therefore, what? What is the thing finally we have to understand? Based on the great diversity or variation in what different people want, keeping that only, the Shastra is giving you means and ends and their relationship, okay, the connection between different means and ends. All these details it is giving different details. Anekada Upadishati. It reveals many different means for different ends, keeping in view the differences in the likes and dislikes of different people. Therefore, Tatra Purushaha Swayameva Yatha Ruchi Sadhana Vishesheshu Pravartante. So the people then what? They take whatever they want. It is like you go to a supermarket, you pick and choose whatever you want, put it in your cart and then check out. Like that, same here. People then take whatever they want. Swayameva Yatha Ruchi, according to their own taste, whatever they like, dislike. They take different sadhanas from the Shastra. Whatever Shastra is revealing, they are taking the different sadhanas from that. Therefore, what? Shastram tu Savitra Pradeepadivatu Udastaha eva. Shastra itself is neutral here. It does not force you or restrain you or anything. It is like the sun. Sun is revealing everything, good, bad, ugly. It is very neutral. Udastaha or non-challenged. Sun is non-challenged. Shastra also is non-challenged. It is revealing you everything. You take whatever you want. If you don't want to take also, Shastra is not the loser. Therefore, what? Tatha kasyachit paraha api purusharthaha apurusharthavad avabhasate. Therefore, what? He makes a very important point here. Even the parama purushartha moksha may not interest some people. What? Not some people. I would say most people. Most people are not really interested in moksha because they don't even understand what their fundamental problems. It may not interest them. They can come to Vedanta class, they may attend 2 classes, they will say it is all boring. What is this? All this Bhashya, all this analysis, it's not interesting. I will watch Big Boss. That may be their preference, correct? Why should I come and attend a class for years on end? All these things are very boring for me. So whatever you like, you do. Nobody is forcing you to do something. Therefore, for some people, this moksha purushartha itself will not be like really something which is worth pursuing. It's not even a pursuit for them. So, yasya yatha avabhasaha sa tatha rupam purushartham pashyati. So, based on whatever one wants or one sees, correct? Based on that only, in keeping with that. So, if you are very interested in artha kama, you will only go for that. Or if you are interested in afterlife and all that, you will only go for dharma. 99% of the people are only going for dharma artha kama. Okay, moksha is not even, either they think that this is all too much, only some great people. That is also another problem. Many people will say, even they will put the guru in a pedestal and do abhisheka, pada puja and all that. but they are not ready to. They will do that for 2 hours. But if you ask them to sit in a Vedanta class for 2 hours, they are not ready. Understand that. There are people like that also. Or they come to Vedanta class and say, attending Vedanta class is punya. What will you do with such people? Whether I understand or not, I am sitting in the presence of a sadhu. That itself is punya. Okay, if you want punya by attending Vedanta class, that also you will get. Okay. Because Atmajnam hi archayet pujayet bhuti kamaha, like that Mundaka Upanishad also says. So you can worship the wise person, one who has self-knowledge, even if you have some desire for prosperity in this world, that is also allowed. Okay, so nobody is stopping you. Therefore, in keeping with your desires and your taste and your likes, only your pursuit also will be in keeping with that. So tad anurupani sadhanani upaditsate. Therefore, Shastra also has to give the means in keeping with that. In keeping with that only, Shastra is doing upadesha. It is teaching you, it is revealing you different means. Tata cha arthavadaha api. There is a story which will come later on. Very interesting story. 5.2. Trayaha prajapatyaha prajapatau pitari brahmacharyam ushuhu. So there are 3 types of children of Prajapati. Okay, Prajapataha. Okay, Prajapatyaha means those who are Prajapatehe apatyam, those who are born of Prajapati. Who are these 3? Devaha, Manushyaha, Asuraha. All these 3, they go. They are children of Prajapati, but they are also doing brahmacharya with their father. So father is both the guru also. Okay. So they are doing brahmacharyam ushuhu, means they are all living a life of brahmachari, brahmacharya with the Prajapati. Then it seems the devas go to Prajapati and ask for upadesha. Then what does Prajapati say? He says da. That's all he says. Only one syllable, da. And then he asks them, do you understand what I have taught you? Okay. Then they say, yes, we understand. So da there stands for dama. So you want us to be controlled. Self-control is very important, because devas are adantaha, like that Bhashyakara says there. Devas have a lot of good qualities, but they are unruly, they lack self-control. Therefore, for them, dhamma is the value which they have to cultivate, practice. Dhamma, dhammadva. Then Manushyas go. And ask for upadesha. Then what does Prajapati say? Again, da. And then he asks, do you understand? And Manushyas also say, yes, we understand. We are all the time trying to grab something. Lubdaha. We are all lubdaha. We want to gain something or the other, but now you are saying datta, give. So for Manushyaha, what is the upadesha? The same syllable, but it means datta, give. You should not be only a consumer, but you have to contribute. So if you are only a consumer, you are a child. So my Guruji used to say this. It's a very interesting insight, correct? Because a child is only a consumer. An infant is purely a consumer, correct? It cannot do anything. Maybe it is giving some joy to the parents with its whatever sounds the child makes, or even a little smile can give us something. But otherwise, a newborn is a total consumer. But as you grow, you contribute also, correct? And when do you become an adult? You are an adult if you contribute more than you consume. That's what my Guruji used to say that. So you have to contribute more than you consume. Then you are an adult. Otherwise, you are only a child. You are all the time you are all the time crying for something or the other. In childhood, you are crying literally. Even after physically becoming an adult, you will be doing all kinds of emotional tantrum and all that if you don't get what you want. Correct? So you always want to consume regardless of what is the situation and all that. That means you still need maturity. You have to grow up emotionally. But anyway, so for the human beings, da is datta. Then what? Asuras go. Asuras also, Prajapati says da. Now have you understood? They also say yes, yes. Dayadvam. Dayadvam means what? You be compassionate. Because asuras are given to cruelty and all that. Kruraha. Therefore, each one based on whatever they think is their defect, the teaching is the same. See, Bhashyakara gives even this Arthavada so beautifully, correct? Here also he talked about Shastra giving means and ends based on whatever each person's likes and dislikes and all that. Here also, Devas perceive that their weakness is something. Therefore, they understand the same teaching as Dhamma. Dhamma is the main teaching for them. And Dana is the main teaching for Manusyas, because Manusyas think that they want to consume something, but you have to also contribute. And similarly, Asuras think that whatever defect they have is what? They are not compassionate enough. They can be cruel and all that, violent. Therefore, compassion is the teaching they have taken. Da. In fact, here there is an interesting Purva Paksha also is there. One guy then asks Purva Pakshi, then what? Manushya's only Dhanam alone is the teaching, or what? Don't they require Dhamma and Daya also? And Bhashyakara says, no. All three are relevant to human beings. In fact, even this reference to Deva and Asura, you can take like this. What? Those human beings who have a lot of good qualities but lack a certain self-mastery, they can be considered as Deva. And other normal human beings who are going after their desires and all can be considered as humans. And those who, for fulfilling their own desires, they do adharma and violate other people, do violence. All these people can be considered as asuras. Therefore, this teaching is relevant for human beings, because human beings themselves can become either Deva or Asura or be as humans and all that. Like this, Bhashyakara also says that all the teachings are relevant for human. And the Upanishad itself further says that whenever the clouds make this noise, correct? They are actually, the Prajapati only is teaching you. Whenever we listen to the noise of the cloud, and all that, da is the teaching. You have to always remember that the clouds are teaching you Dhamma, okay, Dhanam, Daya, all these things they are teaching by making the sound da. Like this it is there. So this Arthavada also is there, which is only pointing out that the Shastra or the teacher only teaches according to whatever the students require. Okay, therefore what? Tasmat na brahma ekatvam jnapayishyantaha vedantaha vidishastrasya badakaha. Therefore, by teaching the oneness of Brahman, the reality as Brahman, the Upanishads, the Vedantas do not in any way negate the relevance of the Purva Shastra. Okay, Karma Kanda has its own relevance because it is addressed to a different adhikaris, correct? Those who are qualified for Karma Kanda are those who take themselves as Karta Bhokta. Therefore, it is relevant to them. And Jnana Kanda addresses itself to those who have seen the limitations of results of action and they want something else. So it is addressed to a different group. So those who are qualified, the qualified groups are different in both these cases and they do not contradict each other. Similarly, nacha vidhishastram etavata nirvishayam syat. And also the vidhishastra, due to all these things, if you say that Brahman alone is real, it doesn't mean that the karma kanda becomes without any subject matter. It has its subject matter. Whether that subject matter is relevant because of ignorance or not and all is not a problem. There are people for whom karma kanda is very relevant, and it does not become something without any subject. So all your objections are all dismissed. Okay. And also what napi ukta karakadi vedam vidhishastram upanishadam brahma ekatvam prati pramanyam nivartayati. The other way around also now he says, just because the karma kanda, the purva bhaga is talking about what? All this activities, factors of action, the results of actions as different. This vidhishastra, the shastra which is mandating you to do certain things, they do not contradict the oneness of Brahman which is taught by the Upanishad. Okay, because they are not focusing on the reality of anything. They are just going along with whatever people want, and they are just revealing means and ends based on that. Therefore, Swavishaya Shurani hi Pramanani. So this Pramana, they are only revealing something which is unique. Their field of revelation is unique. They neither prove nor disprove or anything, any other thing. This is an important point, correct? This is anadhigatatvam. Anadhigatam, abadhitam. Like these two characteristics of pramana we say. This anadhigatatvam only, Bhashyakara again, he says they are swavishaya shurani. They are shuras, or they are experts in their own vishaya, in their own subject only. They are not by implication contradicting anything else. Like even Shrotradivat, like ears only reveal sound. They have nothing to do with color or shape or anything, correct? Eyes only reveal color. It has got nothing to do with sound. Each pramana only reveals its own field of knowledge, and it is not actually bothered about anything else. So like this he explains, but still it is not over. Okay, there is a huge paragraph is there. So let us start that also. Now Bhashyakara shifts his attention to Tarkikas. Okay, so in fact he uses some very harsh words for them. Let us see, very interesting. So here he says, Tatra Pandita Manya Kechit Swachitta Vashat Sarvam Pranam Itra Viddhante. Okay, Panditam Manyaha. Okay. So some people, what do they say? Swachitta Vashat, out of their own fancy only. It is means he says they are not going according to the Shastra. They are making their own speculation, Kapola Kalpitam, okay, imagination of their own skulls. So Swachitta Vashat, Sarvam Pramanam Itara Viruddham Manyan. They say that one Pramana can contradict another Pramana. Okay. And based on that, what they are saying that this Brahma Ekatva Jnanam cannot be there because it is contradicting Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shruti, all that. So that's what he's finally, one more set of arguments he is going to show, that this Brahma Ekatva Jnanam does not contradict anything else. Understand that. Each one has its own place, or each one has its own boundary conditions. In modern parlance, if we have to say, quantum physics is totally different from regular classical physics. But that doesn't mean that we say that at a macro level, it is going to contradict anything, correct? In fact, quantum physics also at a macro level has to conform to classical physics. It doesn't contradict. Although certain things are very contradictory, correct? Quantum level 99% is space. Then how do we say that something is solid and all that? See, even though we say quantum level 99% is space, it is not really, it is like a fan rotating. Let us say the fan is rotating, correct? technically speaking, the fans, these wings are not actually occupying all the space. But while rotating, because it is occupying only 20% of the space, you cannot put your finger inside, correct? Spinning all the time. It is something like that, correct? In each boundary condition, whatever is valid, we have to see. So you cannot shift the boundary conditions and say that no, this is contradicting that and all that. It doesn't make any sense. So he is going to point out that again very beautifully. He says, Tata pratyakshadi virodamapi chodayanti brahma ekatve. So they think that one pramana can contradict another, and therefore they question this brahma ekatva jnanam, saying that it is against pratyaksha, etc. Pratyaksha, anumana, shruti also. Okay, it is virodha, it is opposing this knowledge, this oneness of Brahman opposes our pratyaksha itself, because we see duality. So what is their argument? So he says that Shabdadeyaha kila shrotradi vishaya binnaha pratyakshataha upalabhyante. So this Shabdadi, sounds, etc., shapes, colors, whatever, shrotradi vishaya, they are all objects of sense organs like ears, etc. And what they reveal binnaha, they reveal different things, correct? Different objects through sense perception. So that's how we understand, correct? We understand different objects through our sense organs, and therefore the sense perception is revealing to us only difference. So Brahma ekatvam brotam pratyaksha virodaha syat. Therefore, if you say Brahman alone is real, that is wrong, because duality is being revealed by pratyaksha. This is one of their arguments. Then another one, what? Tatha shrotradibihi shabdadi upalabdharaha kartarastha dharma adharmayoho pratishariram binnaha anumiyante samsarinaha. Also, they do anumana. What is that anumana? The one who is responding to all these stimuli, correct? All this stimulus which is reaching through the sense organs, all these sense objects which are revealed through the sense organs, to whom it is revealed, that person is the doer and enjoyer. That person is the one who is accumulating dharma and adharma, papa and punya, correct? And that person is the one who is indwelling in each and every body. These people are also separate from each other. Like this we can infer there are many individual jivas. How? Because we can infer that, like even how I do certain things based on the stimuli, my own behavior is there. Others are also behaving. Therefore, they also have to be similar to me as an individual. Therefore, many individuals are also there. I can infer that. And therefore, Brahma Ekatvam is contradicting this valid inference. Okay. So Tatra Brahma Ekatvam Brotam Anumana Virodascha. So Anumana also it is contradicting, it is opposed. If you teach the oneness of Brahman, you are also opposing this inference. And also not only that, those who teach the oneness of Brahman claim that they are great followers of Shruti, but you people are against Shruti also. How? Tatacha Agama Virodham Vadanti Grama Kamaha Yajeta. So in Taittiriya Aranyaka it is there. Those who desire a village, you do this. Pashu Kamaha Yajeta. Those who desire cows, you desire this. Swarga Kamaha Yajeta. Those who want to go to Swarga, you do certain yajna like this. Ityevamadi Vakyabhyaha Grama Pashu Swargadi Kamaha Tat Sadhanadi Anushtatarascha Binnaha Avagamyate. So this way, even the Shruti itself is talking about different people desiring different things, and then it is giving them different means to attain those different ends. It is all binna only, it is all different. Therefore, we can understand that you are also against the Shruti. Okay, like this, their argument is there. How Bhashyakara answers this? We'll see next week. So by next week, finally, we'll finish this and enter the next Brahmanam, I hope. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.